a meteorology researcher sees the potential for the first polar vortex disruption of the winter. After the polar vortex disruption, colder than average air usually shows up in the U.S. The polar vortex is a circular, swirling movement of air at the very top of the upper atmosphere. When the swirling air is circulating strongly around the center of the polar vortex, Arctic cold air has a tough time dislodging from the North Pole and moving south. But researchers like Judah Cohen, Director, Seasonal Forecasting, Atmospheric and Environmental Research, AIR, a Verisk business, have discovered the very upper part of the atmosphere, called the stratosphere, can suddenly warm up. The temperature may warm over 100 degrees in just a few days at an altitude of 50,000 feet. These rapid warming periods are called sudden stratospheric warmings, SSW. The SSW triggers movement of Arctic cold air at the surface. The stratosphere warms, expands, and pushes on the polar vortex. The polar vortex gets disrupted. The polar vortex will then move off the North Pole and shift southward. Cohen finds that more often than not the initial blast of cold air moves off the North Pole and over toward Siberia. Around 2 weeks later, that large cold blob of air will cross back over the polar region and shift south into the northern U.S. So Cohen's scenario right now is a sudden stratospheric warming sometime in the middle of December, with colder than normal air arriving in the northern U.S. in late December or early January.
This is October 23rd. October 23rd. And this is today, November 21st, 3 p.m., November 21st, 3 p.m., November 21st, 3 p.m.